Special guest on the line there, Mr. Schwartz.
Yes, we do.
Yep. Honored to have from the Encinitas Union School District, Leslie Schneider, who's on the school board. And she just recently, they voted on a Second Amendment related piece of resolution that has to do with gun violence and gun banning and all that good stuff. So I wanted to bring her on the line and talk to her about her vote and exactly what happened there. Leslie, are you there?
I'm here.
Hi, Leslie.
Here.
Happy Easter.
Thank you. Same to you. Happy Easter.
So you are on the Encinitas Union School District School Board, right?
I am. We're a K-6 district. We have about 5,400 kids. And, obviously gun violence and safety in schools is a hot topic. Safety in schools is always important to us.
Sure.
But, and we have a number of, state mandated drills and precautions and planning that, we need to make sure is in place at all of our campuses. But recently, at our last board meeting a couple weeks ago, there was a resolution that came to the board that was titled Safe Schools, but when you got down into the meat of it and they started calling for action, it was really all of the action was focused around banning guns or different types of ammunition or different types of guns. Which
is too bad. And it's no surprise either. I'm seeing this all over the county at the city council level and at the school board level that they seem to be kind of masking the real agenda with this idea of public safety. But like you said, it all just boils down to banning guns.
And, truthfully, to me, it's very, very sad, especially at a school level and an elementary level. It's not even an appropriate issue to take up because we really should just be focusing on educating our kids and worrying about math and science and writing and spelling and all of those basic educational components. But instead, there has, an agenda has been introduced, and so that showed up as a resolution.
And on the resolution, we say, hey, it just boils down to banning guns. But on the resolution, correct me if I'm wrong, it actually calls for the ban of all semi-automatic firearms. Is that accurate?
Yeah, it does. It does. There were three items that I called into question and said that I would be willing to approve or vote in favor of this resolution if three things were taken off. And one of them was I wanted the removal of that, an outright ban of all semi-automatic weapons. Mm-hmm. They were calling for release of funding for the CDC to study gun violence. Mm-hmm. I went to the CDC website and I couldn't see anything on there that, indicated that this was an organization that was tasked with studying anything other than diseases. There was no mention of guns on there anywhere, so I didn't think that was appropriate. And then the third issue that I had a problem with was they were calling for an age limit increase from 18 to 21 to be able to purchase guns, and I don't think that's appropriate either.
So you actually, so you asked them. You said, "Hey, look, I see your resolution." And I will vote for this as long as you take these three things off. And what was their response?
Well, the resolution passed 4-1.
Without that. So they were completely unwilling to compromise.
Yes. Yes.
So it passed 4-1. And then the way you and I got to talking about this, could you talk a little bit about what happened after the vote?
Sure. So after the vote, all 5 members of the board were asked to sign the resolution. The vote was actually listed on the resolution, so it did say, who, 4 in favor, 1 opposed. But then there was a signature space for all 5 of us to sign. I signed, and then realized that it's not calling out who voted in favor and who voted against. And I just felt like it needed to be clearer that, I had voted against the resolution. And so I asked for the resolution to be redrafted so that I could amend my signature or at least leave off my signature. And I received some pushback on that. Apparently the resolution had been sent up to another organization that, I guess is using our resolution and perhaps many other school districts resolutions for some sort of activity.
Right, to advance, to try to get, various legislation like gun bans passed, basically saying that you guys we're in favor of this resolution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So since I wasn't getting any cooperation on that end, I did amend my signature so that it simply says nay vote next to my signature, and then have asked that all documentation be of the resolution be replaced with this amended signature page.
So correct me if I'm wrong. Just to recap, they said, "Hey, we're worried about public safety," and it turned out that the real teeth of the resolution had to do with gun bans. And then you said, "Hey, I'm willing to go along with a lot of this as long as you'll compromise on just 3 items on this," and they refused to compromise. And then they portrayed the vote as if it were unanimous and that you voted in favor of it. Is all that pretty much? Is that an accurate recap of what happened?
Well, I don't know that I would go so far as to say they've mischaracterized the vote, but there was not a call out as to who voted against. So with my signature being on there with the entire board, it's impossible for anybody to know who voted for and who voted against.
Wow.
And I'm not comfortable with that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm very, very comfortable in my position as an elected representative of my community, and I feel comfortable speaking on their behalf. And if someone, likes or dislikes the way that I'm speaking, then I want them to be able to come directly to me. So I wanted it to be very clear how I voted on that resolution.
Okay. Now, Leslie,
so it remains to be seen if it's replaced or not.
These resolutions have been kind of bouncing around the county. Like I said, some of the city councils, some of the school boards are passing them. Can you talk about what are the consequences of a resolution?
None.
Yeah, it's just
an opinion. A political posturing.
A political posturing is just an opinion piece.
Paper tiger.
Yeah, I mean, we're an itty-bitty school district. How in the world are we going to petition Congress to do anything? It's not really about that. It's about making a statement. It's about lining up with an agenda. That's really what it is.
What statement do you think that if you had to sum it up, what statement do you feel like they're trying to make with this resolution?
Well, I think that they're trying to, it's not hidden. I mean, the resolution, the verbiage is very clear that, they are trying to push a ban on guns. And they took this resolution to the high school board and they, amped it up a little bit with some additional verbiage in there. I don't have the exact in front of me, but sure. It was a little bit meatier. And then they took that resolution to our city council. Yeah. And from what I understand, I haven't seen the resolution there, but I've spoken to members of city council, and they've said that there was actually a call to encourage civil disobedience of our students in the schools, and that they're encouraging them to walk out of classes in order to protest. So it's clearly not designed as a safety measure, because we do earthquake drills and we do lockdown drills, and none of that has any sort of public protest, or we're not petitioning Congress for any of that. So that's not what this is. This is a political posture that, some people are trying to, to show to, I don't know who. I mean, I don't know what purpose this serves, frankly. There's no practical purpose. Has nothing to do with educating our kids, which is really the job that we're in on the school board, is to focus on our kids and their education.
Well, I really appreciate it. I've frequently made the assertion that too often they are using public safety as a way to advance their very blatant anti-gun agenda. And I think this is a really great example. San Diego County gun owners, we want to be a part of the conversation. We want to help. We want to solve problems. But this kind of political posturing that you're talking about, it's just not, and misrepresentation, it's just not helping. It's not helping the kids. It's not helping their safety. So you're an elected official. When are you up for re-election?
I'm up for re-election in 2020. I have a 4-year term.
Excellent. Do you have a website or anything, Leslie, or if people want to learn more about you? Or
I don't, because I'm not campaigning.
Okay.
So, but I mean, somebody could email me or they could call me. I guess you could call into the show and get my personal contact information, or you could always go leslie.schneider@eusd.net, Encinitas Union School District.net.
Well, Leslie, thank you so much for coming on, and thank you for standing up for what you believe in, and we very much appreciate it, Leslie. Thanks for the work you do.
Thanks very much, Michael.
Great job.
Thank you very much.
And Gun Sports Radio is behind you 100%, too.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
All right, folks, we're going to take a small break.
Without someone doing something about it, it's not going to get any better.